Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here. So I've been speaking a lot about Virgo, and we're also going into Libra in about 2 weeks, Lunar Libra, Rosh Hashanah. And what I can tell you is the incredible opportunity in this particular time between this month and next month is to be able to change whatever we want in our life. How would we individually like to change any situation in our life? Well, you can, and I'm going to show you how in this video. So, generally speaking, we operate from a state of lack. That's what we do. Universally, we all want the same things in different ways. We all want to be fulfilled people. It's a general rule. But of course, in an infinite amount of different ways, each one of us wants maybe something different. But the bottom line is we want to be fulfilled. When we understand that, most of our receiving in life, according to the ancient sages, is something we would call improper receiving. What does that mean, improper receiving? It means we do something maybe for the wrong reasons. We look for energy through every situation in our life, whatever it is, because everything we want is really not intangible. Okay, what I mean by that is maybe we're looking for security, and you can't go to the store and buy 5 pounds of security, right? You can buy a security system, doesn't guarantee you security. You can't buy freedom. You can't buy happiness. A lot of people think you can. No, you cannot. In fact, if you ask people what they want from their money, ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers. So the point is, in all of our endeavors in life, we're trying to be fulfilled from whatever it is that we do, normal and natural. However, how we go about that is really the main question, okay? Do we do it in a productive way, from our own personal perspective, creative way, or in a destructive way? As an example, everything we do, even the destructive things that we do, are to receive some sort of fulfillment. Now, I'm not here to tell you to be a smoker or not to be a smoker, but many consider smoking not the healthiest mode of behavior. Okay, but maybe I started young, I'm addicted to smoking, I'm addicted to the nicotine, fine. But it can be potentially destructive. But I still do it. Why do I do it? Because I receive some level of fulfillment. Normal, natural. I mean, not necessarily getting it through a cigarette, but that's just the thing. In fact, that's the point. You see, the way our metaphysical makeup is, each one of us has a receptacle that is capable of receiving fulfillment, the intangible stuff in life. As you might have heard me say in some of the other videos, you know, if you're happy right now, and I would ask you, where do you feel happy right now? What would you say? Is it a physical place on your body? I asked that of someone today, and she said, well, I feel happy in my heart. I said, really? You mean your physical heart? You mean the aorta, the left ventricle, or the valve, or what part of your heart do you feel happy? She got the point. Meaning, she didn't mean her physical heart. It meant here, somewhere internally, you know, that feeling that we all capture somewhere. But you know, I know other people say, oh, I feel it here. I feel fulfillment, happiness, I feel here. And some people say, I feel it all over. You know, when I'm happy, I feel it all over. Well, what's the correct answer? Another answer, there is no correct answer. But clearly, it's not your ear that feels happy right now. Maybe it also feels happy. But the point is, it's not a physical thing. So the happiness itself is intangible. It's a fulfillment. We call it fulfillment because it can't fulfill. But what is it fulfilling? We call that our spiritual vessel. Now, we could also say our soul, But, in Kabbalah, we want to be a little bit more precise because a soul is not a simple matter, according to the wisdom of Kabbalah. A soul has 5 different levels, which breaks down into 125 other levels, and that's not necessarily the important thing. But what is important is understanding at least the main subdivisions of soul: the crude spirit, the soul, the unified soul, and the living soul, and the unified soul, which are 5 stages of consciousness of soul. But what they really mean is how we go about receiving. Suffice to say that the lowest level of crude spirit is called the animalistic soul, or the intellectual animal, which receives simply as a result of my own self-desire, the desire of myself. And that operates through that part of our soul. It's called nefesh in Hebrew, and that just wants to be fulfilled. It also includes fulfillment, includes, again, anything for the self alone. You can be a genius, intellectual, president, surgeon, but that doesn't mean that you're in a higher level of soul. It just means you're in a more evolved mental state, intellectual state, but on a spiritual level, everything you do potentially could be only selfishly based, only for me, only for myself, without truly considering others. What's the motivation behind what I do? Again, even a great surgeon can feel that he or she is God and the healer of people. Okay? Wrong. The best a doctor can do today, getting more difficult to find a good doctor who understands that they can only be a channel for some kind of healing, however that works. So, in a sense, we are all looking, and it's natural for us to look for fulfillment. Very often, when we want to make a change, it's because we are doing something which is not constructive for us, and if it's not constructive, it's destructive. There's no such thing as an in-between in this. If what I'm doing, if my behavior for myself, never mind for other people, but if my behavior for myself is destructive, it can never be beneficial to other people, that's for sure. If it's destructive to me, it's destructive to everyone else that I touch. If it's truly constructive to me, then it will also be constructive to the others in my life too. As an example, let's say I like to get a massage, okay? If it's truly constructive to me, meaning it enables me to feel better, to maybe be more relaxed, maybe to be less in pain, I will be better for other people. But if I'm addicted to getting a massage 4 times a week because it gives me pleasure, that will become a problem. Meaning it will likely become some level of addictive behavior, and I depend on it to feel better about how I feel physically or myself. And that doesn't work long term. It will eventually get old and so on, but I will become dependent. Dependency. We can become dependent on other people. We can become dependent in relationships. We become dependent on substances to make us happy, whatever they may be. If it's alcohol, if it's drinking, if it's smoking, if it's whatever it is. Anytime we're not happy or fulfilled from our own creative behavior, we will entertain some level of destructive behavior. It's certainly not constructive. What do? Because what we need to know is whatever destructive behavior, again, it's destructive to ourselves, it's not productive for us. If it is not adding to my life, it is taking away. Again, there's no in between in this. Or it's adding, or it's taken away. So the question here then becomes, what is it in life? What are those things that are taking away from my life, but they're hard to leave? They are hard to leave behind, whether it's a habit, whether it's some manner of behavior. I'll give you an example. I've had in the past, certainly, students who have difficulty in saying no. It's almost like they're addicted to saying yes. They're addicted to giving, but not in a good way. They give to make other people happy with them, not to make them truly happy. Is it our job to make people happy? I mean, why do we give to other people? Is it to make them happy? Is that the purpose of giving? Sometimes maybe it is. But can I truly fulfill other people? Never. We are not capable of fulfilling anyone else. Everyone is capable only to fulfill themselves by what they do in their own life. Oh, sure, we can support other people, but an example, the most obvious example would be, let's say, a parent who gives their child everything whenever they want it. That child will be debilitated. They may be almost handicapped emotionally and not know how to handle life because they're used to getting whatever they need from mom or dad and don't know how to operate and interact with other people in order to, get what I need or, work with them to get an idea across, whatever it might be, because I'm accustomed to getting whatever I want. Now, for the parent's perspective, that's an addiction. For the child's perspective, that's also an addiction. There's an addiction sometimes from the giver's part, and then there's an addiction from the receiver's part. So why would a giver of things, giving can be a wonderful thing, sure, at the right time in the right way. But if I give because I want people to love me, if I give because I thrive off of the appreciation of other people or the respect or the honor, I'll give you another example. I had a mother come to me years ago and she said, Rabbi, my kids don't respect me. They just don't respect me. They curse at me, and they don't respect me. And I'm just devastated. This has been going on for years. What is it? What's going on? What can I do? Well, I started off by asking her one question. And the question was simple. Do you need respect in your life? And she thought about it and thought about it. It wasn't an easy question to answer. But eventually she came to the conclusion and she said, yes, I do. I was never respected as a child, and I feel validated if someone will respect me because my father never did. I said, well, as long as you are in that head frame and you're addicted, so to speak, to feeling respect, you're never going to get it. More than short term. You might get it short term. It's going to go away from you. Why? Because you need it for yourself in a selfish way. You need respect. Well, now I know many of you might be saying, oh, what are you talking about? Shouldn't we get respect? Well, I'll tell you what I asked her. I said, look, let me ask you a question. Let's say you had no desire for yourself for respect. But should your children respect you? Should they? She said, what do you mean? I said, should a child respect their parent, their mother? The one who birthed them. And she said, yes, I think so. I mean, initially she wasn't sure. I said, absolutely, of course they should. It's good for them to respect their mother. So I said, but is that for you that they should respect? In other words, why do you want it? You want it for yourself so you'll have respect and feel better about yourself? Or can you demand respect from them and act in a way that demands respect from your children because they need it and it's healthy emotionally for them for a child to respect their parents? You see, it's a completely different place. It's coming from a different place. You know, very often we can do the same thing physically, but it's coming from a completely different place. You know, my child can ask me to buy them a car. And let's say, assuming if I would have the money to buy the car and so on, but I don't want to spend the money on them, and I could just say, no car, I'm not buying you any car. They could be hurt, they could be whatever, right? And they could be thinking, well, you know, I don't know, he has the money, why isn't he buying me a car? What is he, like a cheapskate or something? But if I wanted to work on that spiritually, first I would have to be willing to let that go, and maybe get myself to a place where I would be ready maybe to buy the car. That's a stage. And then ask myself a question. Once I'm ready, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready to buy them a car. Why not if I have the money and it's possible? But I'd have to ask a different question. What do you think that question would be? Should I? Is it good for them that I buy them a car? Will it be healthy emotionally for them? Will it spoil them? Do they deserve it? Are they doing well in school maybe? Do they truly need the car? You know, if they're sitting on the couch eating popcorn all day playing video games, should I still buy a car, do you think? So, yes, parents need to judge what a child deserves in this moment and what they don't in terms of giving them things. Because I could spoil them, or I could teach them about life, how life works, how to create for themselves. Maybe they should get a part-time job and work for a part of that car. Maybe I should buy them the car. But the answer shouldn't depend on me as long as I'm giving you the foundation. Yes, it's possible for me, and I can, and I'm willing to. I did my work. I let go. I went out of myself. Now I can make a better decision because I'm objective and I can see the situation more clearly. And now I can think what is best for them, not what is best for me. So, the rule in life is this. If we want to move forward, especially this year, if we want to create changes, we need to be willing to let go of something, but we have to fulfill it with something else. Meaning, what am I willing to let go of, and what am I willing to embrace? They must go together. I'll explain why, and I'll use the example of smoking. Again, why? Because a person is getting fulfillment from that smoking. They have a place in their soul, in their vessel, to receive the pleasure, not a physical pleasure. Yes, it's also physical because there maybe is some addiction also, but that pleasure is first spiritual pleasure. We're not judging the action. Spiritual pleasure, even through negative actions, is still a spiritual pleasure. That doesn't mean it's going to last if it's through a negative action, which it usually doesn't. So I need to be willing to let go of that But if I get to the place where I'm willing to let go of that behavior to draw my energy, to get my fulfillment, what do I do now? Can you just let go of that and do nothing else? Answer is no. I need to embrace something else to fulfill that void. Proof? What do most people do who give up smoking? Maybe they're going to start eating and they're going to gain weight now. Why? Because I replaced the pleasure of smoking with eating. And yeah, there's all kinds of reasons or purposes. Yeah, I need to do something with my mouth or with my hands. Yeah. It's fulfillment of energy. I need to replace energy. If I'm getting energy, which we do from every action we do, especially negative, destructive actions, we still get energy from them. That's why we do them. If I'm getting energy from whatever I'm doing that's not really constructive, even getting the massage every day because I need it, unless I truly need it, because, what I have, some physical disability, I need therapy. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, and just because I like it, and it's it. Well, your time is going to be taken up with that. It's not really the most constructive use of your time. You probably have too much time on your hands, and you're not fulfilling it with other things which are more constructive. So if all you can think about is getting your massage today, I hate to tell you, you probably have too much time on your hands. Or anything else. I'm going to do, whatever, something to just do for me, do for me. Is there anything wrong with doing for me? You didn't hear me say that, right? No. But doing for me all the time, no, that's destructive. It's destructive. And it will never satisfy long term, only short term. Again, so because it ends up being destructive, it needs to be replaced. Again, the question is, what am I willing to let go of and what am I willing to embrace in its place? Now, my usual recommendation in those things that we need to change, again, first step is I must realize that I'm getting energy from this thing. It's not constructive for me in the long run, but I am getting some kind of fulfillment from it. But since I understand that it's not constructive for me long term, it's not building me long term, it's not making me a truly happier person long term. And I say long term because lots of things can be good short term. That doesn't mean they're good long term. I mean, I love pizza. It's great in the moment, but if I'll eat pizza every day, I guarantee you, long term, it's not good for me. Even though I might like it, pizza, pasta, all those yummy things, for me, but not good. So I have to replace that. But I'm getting energy and fulfillment from them. What do I replace it with? Oh, so that's easy because you got to eat. And so I need to learn. And by the way, this took me a while to wean myself off of those foods which are not productive or constructive or health-giving for me, which is sugar, carbs, starches, and those types of things. And I had to replace them with other foods that were not that. And, and so how to make those things yummy for me, in my framework, what I consider yummy and delicious, but it needs to replace that and be healthy. I needed to work at that, right? To find those things that work for me. Example, you smoke, you want to give up smoking. Well, you don't want to start not eating. I don't want to replace one habit with another, a bad habit. We don't want to do that, right? We would like to become addicted, yes, to good things, positive things, creative things. It's kind of the paradox of addiction. Good things, healthy things are difficult to become addicted to. But things which are not necessarily good for us or things that give instant gratification are quite easy to become addicted to for some reason. Yes, well, There is a reason for that. Because again, negativity is easy. It's easy and it's hard to give up. It's easy to fall into, hard to give up. Positive things in our life are difficult. Exercise. It's, not for everybody. It's the easiest thing. You got to push yourself to do it. Is it a good thing? Yes. It's constructive? Yes. What can it replace? Laziness. Laziness gives us energy too. Laziness gives us comfort. Laziness can give us freedom from doing other things that I should be doing. I'm lazy, I don't want to do it. I'm lazy, I'll procrastinate. Can I be willing to let that go and replace it with something productive, maybe with exercise, maybe with going out for a walk? Again, difficult to let go, but and harder to embrace the positive thing. But that's what moves us forward, because those things which are not serving us in our life are holding us back big time. And we may not understand it, but it can be holding us back from success. It can be holding us back from meeting the significant other, or holding us back from us getting along in a way of harmony with the significant other that I have, but maybe it's not, flowing between us. That happens too. So the question that we need to ask and answer for ourselves, what am I willing to let go of now, especially in this time? Virgo, Libra, it's the time to let go of the bad habits, the things that are not serving us. But remember, we must find what can I replace them with. Can I replace some behavior with exercise? Can I replace it with spiritual tools? On my website, I have the Ana B'Koch. And the Ana B'Koch, you can find it in the download section. You're welcome. It's free. The 7 verses that help move us along in process, but it's a spiritual tool. It gives us energy. We can replace, let's say you want to give up smoking or some other habit. You whip out the meditation of the Ana B'Koch. You say those 7 verses as a meditation, and you connect to the light and fulfillment moving forward in your process with that meditation. It can be an amazing tool, an amazing replacement. We need things like that, replacements in our life that will give us more light, more benefit, energy to fulfill the lack that is created by those things that we know and we have agreed to that we would like to give up and let go of in our life. This is very important, especially this month, the easiest month to be able to change whatever we want to change. And especially in the month of Libra, when we begin to draw down infinite light and blessings in all of the major areas in our life that are important to us, sustenance, relationships, and health matters. This is the month to do it. This month and next month. Be blessed, guys, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. All the best.